Now, it's a well-established fact that I believe that that bloke delivering the Amazon parcels needs to turn his fucking stereo down. Because if that comes out on this and I lose copyright and I can't monetize this, it's going to be his fault. Why has he got it so loud? Why has he left his door open? I know he's in a hurry and he's got parcels to deliver, but does he not realise that I'm trying to be some sort of professional here? Jesus. Anyway, see? Go on, get in, shut the door, get on with it. Where was I? It's a well-established fact that he's driving like a tit. Jesus. Right. That's that over and done with. Now on with the story. It's a well-established fact that I think milk floats are rubbish. But what I didn't realise is that out there are milk floats that collect rubbish. There are electric bin lorries around. I mean, I can't see how they work. Well, we're about to find out that they don't. But nevertheless, well-meaning do-gooder councils desperate to tick the box of carbon reduction and all that crap that goes with it got suckered into it and have gone and bought some. Namely, Nottingham City Council, who, thanks to my unpaid researcher, Mr. Peter Brownless, thank you, sir, I salute you, who sent me this. This was in the Nottingham Post or whatever, Nottingham Live, one of those type things. Anyway, sent me the link. Made very interesting reading because Nottingham City Council, not surprisingly a Labour-run council, decided to buy 20 electric bin lorries, refuse collection vehicles, if you will, of the big type. Because they reckon they could save 32 grand per lorry by going electric. It's a massive saving for the taxpayer. And reduce their carbon by 52 tonnes per year. I mean, it's just bollocks, isn't it? It really is just bollocks. It serves no purpose in life. Weighing carbon. Oh, I got some carbon dioxide here. How much you got, Tom? About that much. Well, how much does it weigh? Fuck all, because it's fresh air. It doesn't weigh anything. Utter crap. Anyway, they went out and spent 8.7 million quid on 20 milk float bin lorries. And found that there were some issues with them. The main issues being, now this will come as a shock to some of you, and it'll come as a, oh, I think you'll find they didn't do it properly to the rest of you. Because their main problems, one, charging. Who'd have thought it? A milk float with charging issues. Two, capacity. Because all the weight was taken up with the batteries, there was no room for the rubbish. And I quote from one of the senior councillors in Nottingham City Council, "These vehicles are very, very heavy and have to be plugged in all night. And if the plug becomes even slightly undone, then the vehicle does not work for as long as it needs to." That is an issue. And I've got to admit, sometimes when I've been filling up a car with diesel and I've pulled the diesel thing out and sprayed diesel all over the forecourt and not all of it has gone in, and then it turns out that I didn't have the same amount of range as I would have had if I'd left the nozzle in the fuel tank for the entirety of it filling up. Said no one, ever. Each lorry costs 560 grand, weighs 26 tonnes, and can carry 12 tonnes of rubbish. Now, this would be great, because that actually, 26 tonne for a truck is nothing. 12 tonne, that's a fair bit of crap. However, and this is where it comes down to it, every time they bring out particularly commercial vehicles, I ask the question, is this progress? Have they made things better, or has it stayed the same, or has it got worse? Because if it doesn't improve the situation, it has therefore made things worse, and that is not progress. And the whole point of milk floatery is to progress, not to go backwards. So, 560 grand to buy, 26 tonne gross weight, carries 12 tonne of crap. A diesel version costs 265,000 to buy. Yes, that's less than half. It weighs 32 tonnes gross weight. Not an issue, standard weight for a truck. But can carry 20 tonnes. Nearly double what the milk float version can carry. So it costs less than half as much and carries twice as much. So efficiency-wise, it's already way ahead of the game, innit? So the milk float's got some making up to do. Because it's reduced capacity, costs twice as much to buy, and I quote again the Nottingham senior councillor, because the cost of electricity has gone up, it's the same as diesel now to run. What? You're paying more for your electric than you were 5 years ago, and therefore the cost savings are neutral. Yes, that's right, Tone, yeah. Funny enough, I've been saying that. Well, if they charged at home using solar panels at night, it wouldn't cost them a penny. That's what I do. Oh, how many times? We haven't all got solar panels, we haven't all got driveways, and we haven't even got somewhere to park up 20 bin lorries to charge them overnight. They must have had their own fucking power station for that. 20 bin lorries charging overnight. They must have had to put in a new substation, and there aren't enough solar panels in Nottingham to cover that. Sadly, this story doesn't have a happy ending, because then he went on to say, so there are no savings with an electric vehicle. If we have a diesel vehicle running chip fat, you get the equivalent carbon reduction while saving the capital a significant amount. Saving the council a significant amount of capital. I.e., every time you buy a diesel one for 265 grand, you've instantly saved the council 295 grand. That's not a bad start, is it? You're nearly 300 grand up. Then you chuck some chip fat in it. Hydrogenated vehicle vegetable oil, or whatever they call it. It's chip fat. It's chip fat that's been treated with some chemical enzymes. All of a sudden, they're not costing any more to run. They're far more efficient. They can take 8 tonne more. They don't need charging overnight. They're quick to fill up. And you're 300 grand better off before you even start. Yet somehow, I'm still meant to believe that milk float bin lorries are the future. He then quoted a stat. Milk float bin lorries led to 11,675 missed bin collections in just 3 months due to charging issues and reliability. So, I mean, if ever the analogy of electric being rubbish was appropriate, it's appropriate for a dustbin lorry collecting rubbish in a rubbish way, providing a rubbish service and providing rubbish value to the taxpayer of Nottingham, and overall just being rubbish instead of collecting rubbish. Rubbish. Think I've got enough rubbishes in there? I reckon I could have squeezed a couple more in if I thought about it. So in conclusion, the Nottingham senior councillor has now revealed that they are going to run their entire fleet on chip fat. Because it's more cost effective, it's less capital outlay, and it's more reliable. So what is the future? Is the future electric? Apparently not for bin lorries. Is the future chip fat, which is essentially clean diesel and synthetic fuels type thing? So it's just clean fuels, which then don't provide the carbon output and keep everybody happy and mean that people can still use vehicles for what they're intended for, instead of having to change their entire fucking lifestyle just to suit the vehicle they're driving. It would appear that future my arse applies to electric bin lorries, and future for certain applies to bin lorries running on chip fat. If only you could get a conversion plant built into the bin lorry so they could go round collecting the rubbish from all the fish and chip shops and then just taking the oil, pouring it straight in, and in the back there's a little fuel system that filters it, puts the chemicals into it, and go straight into the fuel tank. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Not only, the efficiency of that is second to none, isn't it? It's like when Doc Emmett Brown converted the flux capacitor to run on garbage in Back to the Future 2. That's exactly what it's like. They could now do that with bin lorries and chip fat. And see, Back to the Future. See, future. The future is recycling rubbish into fuel because it happened in 1987 in Back to the Future, and now it's going to happen for real with chip fat. And not at any point, the only electric thing in Back to the Future was, in fact, the hoverboard. And what happened to the hoverboard? Can't be made, can it? Because they can't make it, because it never existed. So there we go. In conclusion, electric bin lorries are a pile of wank. As proven by Nottingham City Council, with real world testing, using them in the real world, and then looking at the economics of them, looking at the carbon savings, looking at everything, and then coming to the conclusion that they were shit, and they'd be far better off running a load of diesel lorries on chip fat, getting twice as much work done for half as much money. Incidentally, there is another part of this article that I didn't write down, where he says the only way we could run electric vehicles is if we got massive subsidies from the government. Which sounds like something I've been saying on and off for the past 2 years, which is all of these environmental ideas only work with massive subsidies from the government. Solar, wind, heat pumps, they all only work with massive subsidies. Milk floats, electric milk floats, electric vans, HGV, they all only work with massive subsidies. So in other words, we have to pay for virtue signalling wankers. Future my arse.